Alrighty, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Cold Open Cup Round 32. We are now officially in the back half of the weekend. Happy Sunday to everybody already on the Sunday side, and happy Saturday evening to those in the very far western corners of the world. As always, my name is Sparky, and I am joined in the commentary booth by none other than Dynascape. Dinah, how you doing?
Doing great, Sparky. A couple of unfortunate bumps in the roads for some of these matches that were supposed to be streamed, but we're here and in the moment. So in this moment, we've got Pepe Clown Team versus Gaming Mold, and it is as close as it gets. This is Seed 48 versus Seed 49, duking it out in the first round of the losers bracket, fighting to stay alive.
Yeah, it's crazy to see some of these really tight matchups very early on. Joining this match a little bit late, we were originally planning on streaming a different match, but that one ended up as a win by default, unfortunately, pertaining to those bumps in the road that you were talking about. But as you said, we have Pepe Clown Team going up against Gaming Mold here. Pepe Clown Team staffed by Lumiere, Nikanzu Jeezy, and Imram San. And with Gaming Mold, we got Bivins, Morstog, and Up One. All players very good at their respective skill sets. Had some very tough first round opponents, seeing them down here in the losers bracket. We just finished off the first map of this match. It was Saika LN1, and Pepe Clown Team did take that one, leaving them being 1-0 up. So I think that should be everything caught up here. We're going to go right into Rice 1. It's going to be Gaming Mold's first pick here.
Yeah, and it's important to note that this is actually Gaming Mold's pick as well. So Pepe Clown Team did win on their pick. Gaming Mold up to bat here and try to equalize things, make things 1-1. Based on the qualifiers and how they've done, it seems like Pepe Clown Team are really good at LN, getting 29th and 25th, so much higher than their seating placement on those maps. So it's no surprise that they chose LN1 as their first pick. Gaming Mold getting a 26th, very impressive on the hybrid map. So maybe we'll see hybrid 1 picked. I know that the current bans, as we've talked about, hybrid 2 was banned, so hybrid 1 is still up. Gaming Mold opting to, I believe, protect Rice 2 and is now picking Rice 1. So maybe going for the Rice angle here.
Yeah, maybe just wanting to get rid of one of the more physical maps in this pool. Always interested to see the strategies coming out from these teams. Maybe just banning out the upper echelons of the skill sets that they're more comfortable in, because they don't want to get into a bit of a back and forth on those maps if they can avoid it. The qualifier seeding pertaining to that these teams maybe struggle a little bit on the more physical sides of pools, and the fact that they protected some of the lighter stuff kind of lends itself to that. But with that being said, it looks like all the players are ready to wait for more stock to load in. I'm pointing at the screen.
Yeah, hopefully it's not another disconnect. We've seen a couple of these this weekend.
I'm just got my finger pointed at their playfield right now, just hoping, praying that they come on.
Yeah, I've got my fingers crossed. Hopefully Morstog at least lets the ref know that they do need to abort if it is that they cannot load in, or else it might just be a free point over to Pepe Clown Team, unfortunately.
I think they're playing, it might just be client being a little bit goofy. It has been a little...
Yeah, ever since that Sizer warm-up that we had earlier in the week, things have never really been the same for our streamers. Just a constant barrage of mishaps, stuff like that, things going wrong.
We need the vibe cleanser. Oh, and there's more dog. Yeah, there was an abort needed. That explained why Morstog wasn't in. I think it might
that's
be
a full disconnect.
It happens. Thankfully, it was inside the first 30 seconds. Like they never loaded into the map, so there's no contingency for the 30 seconds or first quarter of the map needing to come in. So not a problem. Everybody gets a mulligan every now and again, especially when it's client issues. So we'll get them back in here too.
Yeah, everyone gets one. And while we wait for Morshdog to try to get back in, I kind of see the line of thought behind Gaming Mold picking Rice, because as I mull over these qualifier statistics, it seems to me like Pepe Clown Team is extremely weak on the Rice side of things, getting 66 on both Rice qualifiers. So, I mean, that's way below what they are currently placed at, and I mean, not even top 64 when it does come to Rise. So maybe Gaming Mold thinks that they can overtake them, especially with things kind of ramping up a bit more than the round of 64 comparatively.
Yeah, for sure. And the fact that Rice 2 was protected by Gaming Mold kind of lends itself to that. I think Whispers from a Distant Star is probably the more straightforward physical pick if you don't want to get into something too techy. So I might also explain that Valscotch ban. But it is interesting because if you feel like you might have like a tiny iota of physicality over the other team, I would imagine you'd want to try and take advantage of that. But I can also understand not wanting to take the risk, especially when it is a best of 7 format. You only have 4 points to work with, and really 3 when all is said and done. So it's kind of like, do you not? And especially with the losers bracket on the minds of both these teams, definitely want to play on the safer side when it comes down to it.
Yeah, in a best of 7, it's pretty much you don't have any room to experiment, really. There's not really a long drawn-out match most of the time. So
Yeah.
you get like one crazy pick maybe, but that could be like the final pick of the match for you if you really want to
Pretty
get,
much.
spicy with it.
Yeah, and you really kind of want to save those like off the wall pick, like the crazy picks if you get like a breakpoint or something to try and play with a little bit of house money in those regards. But it looks like Morstog has loaded back into the lobby. Thankfully, there wasn't a like internet disconnection. That probably would have been terrible here as we wait. There it is.
There we go. All 4 players loaded up. We are now officially getting into the second pick of this match. This is going to be Rice 1, Sparky, your very own map. And of course, the really big thing that we always talk about to watch out for when it comes to this map is those outside mini jacks in the latter half when kind of your stamina gets going, you get a little tired.
Yeah, for sure. I think this is like the quintessential like consistency check. Because there's nothing in this map that can really throw you off your game. It really just comes down to the level of concentration throughout, because clocking in at about 2.5 minutes, it's just a barrage of like this consistent jump stream patterning. And like you were saying, those mini jacks get thrown in during the main choruses, and you could be rolling right along with some of these like sort of split trill jump trill patterns, but then the mini jacks come out, and if your fingers are really rigid, don't allow you to hit them, you can find yourself dropping accuracy, or in a worst case scenario, even missing it. Right now we got a pretty decent back and forth going on between these two teams going into the second third of the map. Morstock going at it with Improv San, and Nikanzu going up against Up One right now. Both those sets of players relatively even in terms of accuracy right now.
Yeah, we've got kind of a cross map battle going on. I believe both players on the Pepe Clown team fighting off their opponents. However, it remains to be seen in this back half how things will really finish off, because again, as that stamina kicks in and we get into the second course and get more mini jacks, we're gonna have to see if the 2 players on the lower side of the accuracies, Nikanzu and Up One, could find any accuracy drops or possibly even a miss.
Yeah, right now it's starting to close up ranks very quickly. Nikanzu and Up One inside of 300% against each other. Imran San and Morstog in about what 500%. This is a total of a tenth of a percent between all four of these players collectively. It is maybe 1,500 points separating both of these teams, but Up One finding a couple of 200s right before this next chorus section. The Mini Jacks make their reappearance here, but Nikanzu's gonna find the first break here.
Yeah, finally finds a break just like I was talking about. However, that bar is still staying red.
Oh,
but
Up One
not
trades it
through
back!
Oh, yeah, Up One trades it back in kind of that final phrase. It seems like things are going Pepe Clown team's way, and even though they did get that first drop, it was not enough for Gaming Mold to take advantage of. Up One does trade that miss back and give the point over to Pepe Clown team.
Oh, that is so unfortunate. They might have had enough time to capitalize on it because that bar was starting to get slimmer and slimmer as it started to go the way of Gaming Mold, but that unfortunate miss at the very end of the map going to seal the deal here, and Pepe Clown team takes the first breakpoint in this match by the skin of their teeth at 10,000 points. Very deceptive in terms of the overall performance. Look at that ratio from Morstog, a V1 double S on a map like this.
Yeah, I was just about to point that out. Even though it did have lower 300 ratio than Iram-san, does find the V1SS to kind of break the stalemate that they've had throughout the entirety of that map and pull ahead. However, again, as we been talking about, Up One does find that unfortunate break, and a lot of 200s at that really made the difference in that map. So now it is Paper Clown team up to choose and try to triple up, try to get to 3-0 already. Possibility of a match point brewing.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if we saw something like LN2 or 3 coming out here, and it's going to be Senen no Kotowari coming out here. Probably the easiest map in this pool. Definitely not on the level of the 1-star LN we saw last pool, but I think it maybe like a half step up.
Yeah, I think a half step up is pretty nice way of saying it. It's it's not a jump like some of our Rice has been in particular. Just looking at Valscotch in the tech department, that's definitely a whole step up, if not like 1.5.
Yeah.
However, I mean, Nekomata Master is still like nothing to kind of sleep on. A lot of these teams do struggle when it comes to LN, even if it is the most basic of patterns and structuring, stuff like that. So, I mean, any releases are kind of deadly.
Yeah, for sure. Especially on the back half of the map, I feel like the bulk of the difficulty on this chart comes with the staggered impacts at the very end that can throw things off. But it remains to be seen.
And I do like the OD 6.5 on this map to kind of help alleviate some of that pressure when it does come to trying to act as much as possible. I mean, obviously, again, releases are very, very hard at this stage, and you're just kind of learning how to play Noodle. So, I mean, it really helps.
For sure, definitely want to. I feel like the good LN teams will probably be like, oh, okay, a simple map for us to get a good ratio on, and the ones that maybe aren't as LN inclined are like, oh, okay, something easy for us to be able to at least like survive on, and maybe try and capitalize on any mistakes. And we have definitely seen some really good teams go down due to maybe one inopportune miss at the wrong time. So, I mean, anything can still happen, especially on a matchup this close. Definitely Gaming Mode not out of this just yet as we try and get more stock back in here. Internet issues this time of day. I think there is a winter storm brewing across the United States, so can definitely probably pin that as the main issue here.
Yeah, I can definitely attest to, like, if you are in the Midwest, it is quite snowy right now. So don't
just do what
blame.
I do.
Yeah.
Live in South Texas where there's no snow ever. That's
Yeah, no,
that's
like,
an enigma.
yeah. Just the surest way of ensuring that you have no problems with your internet connection, I guess, is to live, in a very humid climate.
Yep. And then the one day of the year where it does get cold, just cry as the entire electrical grid just falls apart around you.
Yeah. That being said, I mean, oh man, gaming mode kind of taking a bit. I think Watchdog is still having trouble. I'm not sure who their third is. Oh no, it is up one. So I mean, they could possibly sub in if needed. However, it does seem like Watchdog is kind of the choice pick when it comes to LN. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have to see.
They throw in Vivian's to try and back him up here. I think Vivian's dealing with a bit of illness, but hopefully feeling well enough to contest on this pick.
Yeah, I think Ramsan has been such a rock for Pepe Clown team. I'm sure that's a big reason as to why they did so well on LN1 and LN2. Obviously, it is a team game. However, seeing how LN1 went, I think Ramsan finished with something like a 99.81. It's enough for a 993-ish. It's very, very scary accuracy when it comes to early game LN.
Yeah, for sure. Be interested to see how they scale if they do end up winning this match. It looks like Watchdog is back in the lobby. Thankfully, the player is very understanding of the situation and are willing to allow these issues to kind of sort themselves out. It's not the worst thing in the world, and yeah, that's got that Ohio internet, so probably in the thick of a pretty impressive snowstorm.
Yeah, can't have anything in Ohio, right? So
Exactly. So, looks like we are going to get underway. Thankfully, quickly readied up. Everybody loaded in rather smoothly. Vivian's with the no fail on a 2-star LN map. Love to see it.
always gotta have that, extra step of protection. As this map starts off, I mean, Vivian's is lowest accuracy in the lobby. Not enough to really warrant a no-fail, but Ramsan holding out at a 99.94 as we get into the first 200 notes around.
Yeah, not a high no count on a map like this. And right now we can see Pepe Clown team pulling away just a little bit. I think we're going to see Gaming Mold really make their advances once these little rice sections come in. Not the hardest things in the world. Once the LN gets reintroduced, that's really where you got to watch out. Don't want to chop any of those releases. Yes, it is OD 6.5, but you can still definitely cut some of these releases off if you're not too careful.
Especially when it gets to the kind of structures where you're holding down 2 columns at once. I can totally see someone just totally mistiming things, ending up with a very chopped early 200, or just forgetting to let go and getting a really late 200 as well. Watchdog trying their best to contend with the Kanzu, but again, Ramsan is just head and shoulders above everyone else at a 99.92. At this point in the map, about a third left. Gonna have to hope for a break it pretty much. Vivian's trying their best as well at a 99.45, but it is quite a bit of distance away from anyone on Pepe Clown team.
Yeah, about 26,000 points separating these two teams. As we wait for Banjo to try and keep everything in sync here, I think that's a bit of a client miss as everything tries to get kept together. Yeah, the combo comes right back up. So not a miss there from Watchdog. And here I think is the hardest part to coordinate if you're not very LN inclined. And Imbrom's not actually going to find a break. But Vivian trades it back. No harm, no foul once again for Pepe Clown team. Kind of riding their luck here when it comes to some of these picks. And it looks like they're going to be surviving a little bit of a scare, Imram, with that tiny bit of a choke at the very end of the map. And it's going to become 3-0 now.
Yeah, that would have been an extremely good score by Ramson, probably looking at a 997 around there if it were not for that unfortunate break. Gaming Mode just kind of seems to pick up a break after Pepe Clown team drops combo in step with one another. Morstog, the top player on Gaming Mode with a 990, is still beaten out by Nikanzu at a 991, almost 992.
I mean, honestly, they almost tied 132 V1SS Nikanzu to Morse Dog's 131 and 200. We were one judgment away from seeing an actual tie between two players.
Yeah, that would have been. I think that would have been the first in this tournament, I believe, having an in-match tie, at least between two players. It's Gaming Mode's pick, and they did protect Rice too. Not sure if they're still feeling it though after what happened with Rice 1.
I mean, you got something like Wicked Cross on the table as well. Something a little bit more jumpy, a little bit more straightforward if you don't want to go with the potential speedier pick.
Yeah, and I mean, if you want to be a real Chad and kind of like what you said, play around with house money, you could go for Faraway. Gaming Mobile did get 25th on the hybrid, much better than Pepe Clown team. This could be a decent thing to kind of consider for them.
Yeah, maybe pick up on the choke. Oh, it was Rice 2, the pick for Gaming Mode here. Banjo might have eaten the message. So, was highlighted on screen inadvertently a little bit earlier. Now it gets actually picked. So, everything's all well and good in the world here. Just got to change the color of who picked it. Oh, actually, I just realized everything. The colors of the map picks are flipped around. So, if you have been following along, you're not going crazy. That tiny detail.
And I think with Rice 2, kind of like that same thing on Rice 1, there is a couple of tricks up this map's sleeve, even though you might be prone to kind of getting the glazed eyes and just like going autopilot mode. You know, you do have those flams in the brake section, stuff like that to kind of trick you up. I think a couple jumps here and there as well. So, I mean, it could be a redux of what happened in Rice 1, where one person from Pepe Clown team breaks and then Gaming Mode follows it right back up with another one.
Yeah, for sure. So, an opportunity for Gaming Mode to notch a point on the board. An opportunity for Pepe Clown team to take the second and final break point in this match. We're going to see Upwind come back in for Gaming Mode. Hopefully, Vivian's feels better soon. See if this match goes any further, if their services will be required. Morstog not loading in. Might need to kick them out again.
Yeah, this might be another abort coming out for the referee.
Yeah, up one, finding a break there. I think they were trying to type to the referee. So everybody hold your horses. Might be another quick little reconnect for Morstog here.
Yeah, horses are being held right now. Reluctant to really commentate on anything that's happening on this map, as I feel like we're just gonna have time reversed.
Yeah, hopefully nobody. The good thing is that the introduction is incredibly gentle, so it's like there's no real like choke potential as we start to make our way into the map itself. Upwind gonna find a break on the transition into the speedier parts. That part is so tricky because the BPM does change, gets a little bit faster, and you're used to it. You're not fully prepared for it. You can find a break like that. So as we wait here to see if it is actually a break, Imramsan actually going to trade that miss back here, but Upwind once again finding another break in this section of speed, maybe catching up to them just a little bit here. The flams that you were talking about earlier, catching out Imramsan though, so bit of a battle here in the bottom half of the map pool, or bottom half of the lobby here. Morstog still MIA overall. Hopefully they're not frozen in place and actually playing, because the last thing we want is one of the scores not being reported.
Yeah, and the bar actually confounds me because as the blue team score goes up, the bar itself dwindles.
Oh, okay, so Morstog did actually load in to the map. Just waiting on them to catch up here. And right now it looks 99.51, 661 combo. I think that's still an FC, if I'm not mistaken. I think there's only like 950, 970 notes. So this is gonna be a bit of a wonky ending. As I say that,
Yeah, we
three of
might
the
just get
players will
more
die.
strikes. I think we're
Yeah,
just gonna get
Morstog's
more
gonna
strikes
finish it out.
perspective now. I mean, holding at a 99.57, and more importantly, what I think is an FC, could be wrong here. Might have I think actually they dropped in the flam section based on the combo. Um, this could be actually really close. I mean, up one in Nikanzu again might be having that cross map battle, and then Morstog and Iramsan. Not to see how things turn out. Check the MP link for anything.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now. And it looks like it was Pepe Clown Team finishing it out. Up one, finding the two misses, 943,000 for them, 978 for Morstog. Top scored the lobby, but the difference was 11,000 points. And your winners moving on to the round of 16 in the losers bracket will be Pepe Clown Team by a score of 4-0.
Yeah, well played by Pepe Clown Team. They have a real good lineup when it comes to that early game act. And Ramsan has shown and proven themselves to be very apt at kind of just setting good scores consistently. Definitely one to watch out for. And again, congratulations to Pepe Clown Team and commiserations to Gaming Mold. They are now out of this tournament, unfortunately. Glad to have you. Thanks for playing. We do have one upcoming match in the next top of the hour. That's going to be Combo Trouble versus Real Housewives of Osumania. So stay tuned because we might be streaming that one.
Bit of a correction, I believe that match already happened. Things are a little bit behind on Jason's bracket, as you can see on the right-hand side. The next match is actually going to be, as you said, top of the hour. It's going to be Fumo Gaming going against Zhang AI Family, followed up by J4F going against Meow, :3. Not sure if we have a streamer for that just yet, but definitely stay tuned to the channel, stay tuned to the Discord, where you can get the pings for the upcoming matches. And on behalf of both of us, we hope you guys have enjoyed, and we'll catch y'all later.
Bye.